Good evening, bitches. Let's organize the skincare together. Something about that scoop is just kind of off-putting to me. I don't know. I understand that people get a lot of PR and stuff like that, but what I don't understand is why the companies send, like, the full-size bottles of everything. Like, why not send a sample? I feel like that would be way less wasteful. Or they could even, like, come up with their own, like, smaller size influencers. I don't know. Anyway, also, how much did all those organizers cost? I really want to know. I need someone to tell me because this just seems a little unnecessary when you could just plop your little doobies in there like that anyway. I don't know. This pains me.
I've fallen down a little bit of a rabbit hole recently, and now I can confidently say that capitalism and consumerism are ruining our brains. And this all happened because, like everyone else, I was watching Christmas hauls and I saw so many Stanley Cups and Ugg boots and Drunk Elephant products, and I wondered, how did it become those things? And then I stumbled upon this term conspicuous consumption, which used to be just for the upper class, but I think we as the middle class kind of took it and adjusted it. And they found that the people that were spending the most money to keep up with the Joneses were people who were uncertain in themselves. I also found that people that have low tolerance for uncertainty in general are the ones participating more in conspicuous consumption. And it's one thing when it's the upper class who has a lot of disposable income doing this, but now it's also the middle class falling victim to this, with 40% of people spending on these status symbols just to impress others. The things that were most overspent on were clothes, shoes, and accessories, and more than a quarter of people are currently in debt because of this overspending habit. When I tried to find any kind of book or podcast or anything that talked about how to get away from this, there really wasn't anything. This book is aimed at people that work in marketing, but I think it gives a really great insight into what our brains are doing when we're buying things. And then I kind of realized it all comes back to this. If you are not certain in yourself, you're going to keep spending on things to impress people, and there's no hack or shortcut to get rid of that. This doesn't mean you need to go and throw out your Stanleys. It just means that when it comes Stanley's time to get replaced with some other hot new product, maybe you just stick to the thing you already bought.
Random thought I just had. I just seen somebody put like protective gear over their Stanley's cup or whatever that, and then like I seen another lady that had like 12 Stanley cups. And I think the real reason for overconsumption is people don't have hobbies anymore. And I mean that like genuinely. Like, what do you do with your day besides work and scroll on social media? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I feel like if you was knitting, if you played a little Nintendo Switch, you know, maybe you like to paint or something, because these people are buying so many Stanley cups because that's the only fun. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad. Like, I'm not even trying to hate on y'all. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to collect things. It's just that, like, the Stanley, why would you need, and then I don't even like, no hate to Stanley, no hate to Stanley. The cup is big and doofy. Like, do that even fit in y'all cars? Like, why do you need 12 of those cups? And be honest with me, are y'all using that? Like, do y'all have y'all cups in genuine rotation? Because like every other human being, you know you have a favorite cup, so you're probably using your favorite cup the most. And it's like, are the rest of them just sitting there for display? Like, do you have a dedicated Instagram for your Stanley cups? Like, I feel like, answer this question. If you have a bunch of Stanley cups, and this is a genuine question, do you have a hobby that's not social media and not working? Like, just like a genuine, no benefit to you, like you just do it for fun, like you have a hobby, okay? Please.
You're new me, so we're doing a little bit of cleanup, and I just want to say it's not normal to have this much skincare. I have this much because it's mostly gifted. I want to say 80 to 90% is gifted, but that's because it's my second job to review skincare. When I first graduated and started making big girl money, I love to treat myself to these things. But overconsumption is so bad for my mental health and for my wallet, not to mention for the environment too. If I weren't a content creator, I would probably have 10 skincare products tops. So in 2024, let's remind ourselves that stuff does not make us happy.
Living paycheck to paycheck, that I was going to make my home my happy place.
Hi, formerly broke person here. I used to live off of $10,000 a year. So I completely understand what it's like to want to treat yourself once you reach financial security. Just one quick thought. Why have we been trained to think that shopping is the only way that we can get happiness? Why is overconsumption being pushed on us as a way to achieve happiness and peace in our life? I think it's really important that we ask this question because overconsuming is bad for the planet, it's bad for our mental health, it's bad for pretty much everything. But it is so often painted as the only way to be happy. And I think that we need to examine that. I think that we really need to stop and think and say, wait a second. What if I got happiness out of building community? What if I got happiness out of learning? What if I got happiness out of making something rather than buying something? Who benefits when all of us think that the only way we can be happy is if we shop? Just something to think about.
This is your reminder to limit your consumerism over the holidays and in general. I see a lot of like wish lists on TikTok, like scroll, like the carousel type things. A lot of that stuff is so unnecessary. Like, you guys really don't need that. Also, you don't need Christmas decorations every year. Just keep reusing the same ones you have. Obviously, you can buy yourself something nice every now and then, but you guys shouldn't be spending like hundreds of dollars every week at like the mall, Ulta, like Shein. I hate Shein. And I don't like a lot of influencers here on TikTok be like, you need this, you need that. No, you don't. Shut up.
Can we please stop normalizing spending so much money in our 20s? Like, can we just be broke and normalize being broke? Not broke, but like not buying a bunch of crap all the time. Like having a fully stocked guest bathroom with high-end beauty products. Or even having like a second set of all of your cosmetics in a little thing in your car. Like, I don't have money for that. I don't know, like growing up, I just always pictured being in your 20s like your time to hunker down and work hard and buy the store brand stuff. I want to normalize like not minimalism, but just being content with getting by. And this is kind of a hot take. Like, some of y'all want to be luxurious and like live that life. And obviously, if someone handed me a check for $100 million, I wouldn't turn it down. But that is just not the reality right now. And if that's the reality for you, I'm genuinely so happy for you. No one should be in trouble or apologizing because they're well off. It's not a crime to have money. But at the same time, you're not behind or like missing out on life if you can't live up to the standards that you see on social media. Because there's at least one other person here that can't either. Right here. It's me. Daily thoughts.
Not be the only one who feels like nothing on this app is relatable anymore. I used to love to come on here and just scroll and find inspiration and new recipes and feel like I made connections with other moms and feel like I wasn't so alone in this motherhood journey. And now it's just like, as I'm scrolling, I guess I'm on the wrong side of TikTok, but as I'm scrolling, I'm like, this is so completely unattainable. Seems like everything that is pushed out to us is just completely unrealistic and unrelatable. Lack of a better term, it's like this culture of spend less time with your kids and buy more, spend more, do all this pointless shit with your life and nothing that's worthwhile. Let's go to Target and spend $500, but not show the fact that I'm either going to go return it or that nobody else can afford to do this shit. So they're just going to watch me behind a screen and I'm going to pretend to be relatable and I'm going to put hand sanitizer on and I'm going to like tighten my hair and I'm going to call it a day. And it's like the more that other people watch this shit, the more that everybody else turns into this shit and it's all you see. And I just want other people to know, like, first, am I alone? Like, I cannot be alone in this feeling of like, there are other people out there like me that are just like sick of seeing this shit, that like the normal day-to-day life is not that. Like, your life is not hard by going to Target and getting your nails done and deciding whether or not to cut all your hair off. This is just a ramble at this point, but what else is new if it's coming from me? But I'm just so sick of seeing shit on here that just makes no sense to like the average human. Like, all of your followers are not relating to this. And so many times, like, people post something and I'm like scrolling the comments hoping to see like what I'm thinking in my brain and I'm not finding it. And I'm like, okay, I guess it is just me. So like, let me know. Is it just me? Are you in this too? Is it just, it must be just
Welcome to your weekly de-influencing video where I talk some sense into you and de-influence you out of buying things that you don't need, because that's who I am and it's what I do. I'm Paige. I'm the founder of Overcoming Overspending. I help you stop impulse shopping and overspending. So you have officially made it to the side of social media that's actually going to help you save some money versus bleeding you dry. So make sure to like, save, or comment on this video so that the algorithm brings you back. I want to talk about influencer culture this week because I feel like some of y'all need to hear that you're not an influencer. And then you're like, Paige, what do you mean? Like, I know that. I know I'm not an influencer. I'm like, do you? Do you honestly know that? Because you're spending money like you're one. Your bank accounts think that you're an influencer. Here's the thing about influencers. Influencers have to spend money to make money. If they're not buying, they're not banking. They have to buy things to then film themselves using, to then put on this app to show you, to make you go, oh, that looks cool. I want that. So that you'll go and buy it, and then they'll actually earn a commission from something that you bought that they influenced you to buy. That's not how it works for you and I, okay? That's not how it works for us non-influencer people. When we spend money, we're just spending money. Like when we buy things, we're just buying a bunch of crap and bringing a bunch of stuff into our homes and depleting our bank accounts. Most of the things that we buy don't make us money like it does for an influencer. I need you to pump the brakes a little bit and remind yourself that you're not an influencer. Most of the things that you buy, you're not going to make money off of. I also need you to remember that most of what you see on here isn't actually real. That's what influencer culture is. It's all aspirational. It's all meant to create a sense of inadequacy and a sense of lack in your current life. And here's the thing, I don't think that the influencers are like doing this on purpose. I don't think it's malicious, and I honestly don't think that that's the intent. But that is what ends up happening. You end up seeing these other people's lives that look absolutely perfect, and the first place that our brains go is, okay, if I want to be like her, I need to go out and buy everything that she has. There is no serum, there's no shake, there's no green juice, there's no purse that is ever going to turn you into another person. And look, I love the Emily Kaisers and the Avery Woods of the world just as much as the next girl. Like, I follow them, I watch their videos, I love it, I get a kick out of it. I also understand that by me going to their Amazon storefronts and buying everything in there and creating a carbon copy of someone else's life isn't going to make me them. There's only one of them, and there's one of me, and there's one of you. And we all have to start realizing that no matter how much money we spend and how much stuff we buy, it's never going to turn us into someone that we're ultimately not. I want you to be the biggest influencer in your own life. No one else knows what's best for you more than you know what's best for you. I need you to see and realize how extraordinary you already are, how extraordinary your life already is, the way that it is right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a grip. We're going to close out all of our tabs. We're going to empty out all of our carts. We're going to stop trying to buy things that ultimately can't be bought. We're going to stop trying to be someone that we're ultimately not. And when you go and do all those things, and when you come back here, before you scroll on to the next video, because let's face it, it's probably going to be a video about that brush with the holes in it, or about that shadow work journal, or about some sweatshirt with pickle jars on it. Before you keep scrolling, I want you to go to my profile. I want you to start with all of the free resources there, my free trainings on how to stop impulse shopping. Start listening to my podcast, which is completely free, which will really help you. Make sure to follow me so that you have at least someone on your feed that can help you save a little money versus spending it all.
Dedication 6, of course.
I want to start off this video by saying that I mean no hate to the creator who made that video that I just showed, but I do want to say that it shows the direct issue that we are facing with overconsumption and the glorification of overconsumption. Realistically, nobody needs 100 different perfumes. Now, I'm not here to judge how you spend your money. I have the ways that I spend my money. I have my own hobbies. I collect my own things. But in general, the societal push that I have seen, and especially on TikTok, for this glorification of overconsumption is so terrifying, because we are witnessing people being obsessed with monetary things and things that are not permanent, and putting so much money and time into things that are killing them. And I know that that sounds dramatic, and your perfume collection is not going to kill you. It's not about the perfume, but it is about the incessant need that is being and the push for this incessant need that is being pushed onto people to purchase and fill your home with all these things that are not necessary. At the end of the day, you really don't need 100 perfumes. You can do with 3. I mean, three's a little minimal, but even that, you don't need that much of one item and that much of anything in general. And this pursuit that people are having of, I want more, I want more, I want more, I think it's killing people. People are focusing so much on items and not putting value into real things like your friendships, like the people who love you and care for you. And they're spending so much more time outside of that. And I think that that's really affecting society as a whole and people as a whole. And it's very sad to me when I see this on TikTok.
This just needs to be said, but if you're in your 20s, it is not normal to own tons of designer things. I don't own a single designer thing. It is not normal to go spend $200 at Sephora, Ulta once a week. It is not even normal to go out to fancy restaurants and drink multiple times a week. There's nothing wrong with those things, but I just need to remind you that that is not normal. Us normal people do not do that. Okay? You're not alone. And social media is lying to you.